Go get him, PJ. Go get him, buddy. Gonna kill him. Stop. Hey, PJ, turn right. Turn right. Bud, are you okay?
The Canadian Touring Car Championship is one of Canada's most competitive race series. With 3 unique classes, racing on 6 renowned tracks that host a total of 16 races. This season opens at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, with 2 races that will set the pace for this year's championship. This track is quick and dangerous, like Corner 1's 90-degree bank, or worse, Corner 2's hair-raising blind descent. It's a track of character and history. Nearly 20 men have lost their lives here. It's a track that demands respect. PJ Groenke last year tallied 10 top 5 finishes, including 3 podium finishes and the first 2 victories for the Pfaff Castrol Volkswagen GTI, finishing up the season in a spectacular crash, sending him across the finish line on the roof of his car. This year, PJ has transitioned to the CTCC in a new class called B-Spec. Racing for Durabond Octane Motorsport in a Mini Cooper, he, like the rest of his class, hopes to achieve P1.
We've actually had a race with PJ last year at the beginning of the season. He raced with us. His car wasn't entirely ready for the first event, so we made an arrangement for him to drive for us. And he actually ended up winning the first event that he was with us, so we were very impressed. So obviously we kept in contact with him ever since. The opportunity came this year for the B-Spec to come together, and through cooperation of Sean Aslan, who built the car, and us and the Durabond team, we decided to put 2 cars together where PJ will be driving one of them, and I think it's going to be a good season. So.
With B-Spec being a new class and it already drawing such fierce competition, PJ will need to control his car, but more importantly, his emotions.
PJ, he has had issues on the track before. He's not so much a hothead, but if an incident comes about, he will try and ask himself in a hard way, what the heck is going on? In racing, especially in a class like this, you gotta mellow out and you gotta be smooth, collected thoughts. This year we're trying to work on him calming down, and so far it's working out great.
I'm just getting all set up to go out for qualifying. A little bit behind schedule, as is normal for the first race weekend. Once you get into the second race weekend, everything's pretty much all set up, like camera mounts, logo recognition for sponsors and stuff like that. So it is more hectic than the other race weekends because you haven't been to the track for a while. You're just kind of getting in sync and everything, trying to figure everything out, getting all the infrastructure set up. Everyone's a little bit rusty. You gotta get out there and get familiar with the track again. They did some changes to the track over the winter, so you just gotta get used to things and get back into the groove of it.
I'd like to officially welcome you to the Mini family. So, not very official, but it doesn't. At least you'll have one on your chute right now.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
The qualifying lap is designed to set the grid where the drivers will be positioned to start race 1 of the weekend. The results of race 1 will then determine the starting positions for the second and final race. PJ and Durbond Octane Motorsports disappointed. Nick Whitmer of Honda St. Rose Racing took the coveted P1. PJ's lap time earned him 3rd spot within the starting grid for race 1.
We qualified in P3. We were actually in 2nd place for the longest while. Greg Pootman's cracked off a quicker lap in the end, but it's okay. As long as we're here in tech, we don't want to go out and be the fastest car right off the hop. We kind of want to play it strategically. I want to get around the other cars, see what they're doing in the race, feel them out, see where they have the extra speed, and just go chase them and go get them at that point. The race is a whole different game.
After nearly 8 months off the track, Durbond Octane Motorsport is feeling the pressure as they scramble to ready both cars.
Yeah, Andre did miss practice. The second car wasn't ready. So Sean Aslan actually pretty well worked overnight to ensure that it'd be finalized before he got here. So, you know, we were kind of hoping that Sean would have been here to make sure that PJ's car is better than it is, because it's a brand new car. There's lots of things you have to go over it. So, but he has to dedicate his attention to the other car also to make sure that it's finished. So, does it create issues? Well, there's a bunch of little things that we'd like to do on the car that we haven't had a chance to do. So, yeah, it does create issues from the result and team management and where we'd like to be.
Unfortunately, we're a bit behind the 8 ball, and Andre's car wasn't finished in time. Happy that we got it here for qualifying today, but having not practiced, he's 1 session behind already. I tried to help him out as much as I could through qualifying, getting him up to speed quickly and stuff. We're sitting P3 and P5 right now, obviously not where we want to be. Of course, the ultimate goal is to get into 1st place and 2nd place for both cars. That's what we're here to do. That's our job. So we've got some work to do in between qualifying and the first race. Getting into the lead in the first race is not going to be easy. Nick's got quite a bit of time ahead of us in terms of qualifying time. Race and qualifying is completely different. Traditionally, I'm not as good of a qualifier as I am a race driver. I kind of like to have a target in front of me, a goal to set my sights on, and then the whole 30 minutes of the race, basically I set out to achieve that goal, to hunt him down, to chase him down, to follow him, to see where he's weaker than I am, and then to present or make an opportunity to make a pass. I first started racing because my parents somewhat feared that I'd end up killing myself or someone on the street. I chewed off the tires of my dad's company van in about 2 weeks. They kind of really pushed me into this because when I turned 16, I really wasn't even interested in getting my driver's license. They kind of actually forced me to go and get it. So it's kind of funny how that worked out, and now I can't stop driving. I started off racing by going to Jim Russell driving school there, started doing auto slaloms around cones in parking lots, had some success there. I won the scholarship for the annual runoffs at Jim Russell in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec. I also did some sports car racing in Toyota Corollas, Nissan Sentras, and then in Canadian Touring Car Championship since 2005. That's actually when I founded PJ Groenke Racing and started racing for my sponsors, and it's been an amazing ride from there. There's a lot of emotion involved with racing and with motorsports in general. The competition you have out there, and yeah, absolutely, I lose my cool the odd time. The radio is kind of my vent. I think it helps me focus a little bit on the track. I've got a very good crew chief. They really help me on the radio and stuff. So yeah, I have a temper, absolutely. There's no way around it. If something pisses me off, I'm gonna let it be known. Last year we had a bit of an incident. Heading into Honda Indy Toronto, which was round 4, we were 3rd in the points, fighting for the championship. We just came off 2 back-to-back wins at Mosport, which was the best thing in the world. We were positioned pretty good in the 2nd race, heading into the 1st corner. Unfortunately, my teammate kind of drove me into the wall. Obviously, I kind of lost it in the car and had some not so kind words to say.
This is
In the name of racing, it's what happens. Obviously, we're competitive. We want to win. I don't ever not want to finish a race. I believe that was the first race I ever didn't finish. And yeah, I absolutely took it to heart, and it pissed the hell out of me. So I'm going to let my feelings be felt.
yeah, I'm okay.
We're going to head into the start of the race really cautious just because it's the first race start for everyone here. It's been months before we've done it. So, I mean, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to go for it. I don't care. I'm not one to hold back. If there's a door opening, I'll stick my nose in there and see if I can make the pass. But at the same time, you don't want to wreck the car the first race weekend of the year. It's all about gathering points and not losing points at this point in the game.
Focus, PJ, focus. That's what it's about. When you got anger, keep it inside and put it back into your driving. Ready? Ready? Go, 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 go!
PJ and Andre made a hard push to advance. Unfortunately, their efforts fell short.
Stop it! Fucking killing us.
As in qualifying, Nick Whitmer of St. Rose Honda managed to maintain P1.
Third place, Simon got ahead of me, I think on the second lap, and then they just kind of ran roadblock with Greg, so I couldn't come back at them. That was definitely frustrating in terms of trying to fight back and get the car back up into the top three. I let Andre by for a little bit to go play with Simon, see if he could kind of mess him up and get by him and stuff to that effect, but we just couldn't get a good run because the traffic kept on separating us. And then eventually I think Andre had a problem with his car, so I got back around him. Started to hunt down Simon again, and I was really close at the end. But then again, the BMW of Marc-Antoine Cameron got in between us just when I was going to put a run together in the last sequence of laps. So it was a good race. We learned a lot. We definitely have some work to do. I do think the Hondas have maybe 5-10 horsepower more than the Minis at this point in time. So we can't do anything in terms of that. But definitely with the setup, we're going to play around with that and see if we can gain some speed.
Although neither driver placed, Race 1 provided the team with enough feedback to help tune their cars to their maximum potential.
So this is our new B-Spec class Mini Cooper. What's B-Spec? It's basically an entry-level vehicle series for 1.6 liters cars that have around 115 horsepower. So very little modifications are allowed to these vehicles, except for as far as safety is concerned, and a little bit on the suspension. Suspension-wise, is if you look at the shocks, they have special shocks that are non-adjustable, but you can play with the right height on it at the front of the vehicle. What's very critical on the race car is that it has the proper alignment. We're talking half of a millimeter different can make a big difference as far as how much cornering speed you can get, entry speed, etc., and how much speed you can keep in the corner. So he does the alignment. You want to make sure that the car is as parallel as you want to, or sometimes at the front we will open them up a little bit so they handle better. We have full race seat, proper seat belts, fire system in the car, and racing steering wheel. Obviously, safety is a concern. So as you see, we have built a very comprehensive race cage in the car in case something was going to happen to protect the driver in the car. So mechanically speaking, these cars are all stock as they come from the factory. I'll show you under the hood. Stock engine, as you can see, stock transmission. We're not allowed any modification to the transmission. They make about 110 to 115 horsepower depending on the car that's in class, and it's all as it comes from the showroom floor. No modifications allowed, no nothing.
Sean was working all night getting the cars ready for the race this weekend. Unfortunately, we're a bit behind the 8 ball as we're probably 1 or 2 test days behind, whereas the other teams have had the cars out and they've kind of shaken them down, gotten everything ready. So we're now in the process of setting up the cars for the race weekend, halfway through the race weekend. So I'm much more confident heading into the race today. Got radios in both cars where we only had one in my car yesterday. So I'm really pumped. I think we're going to move to the front of the field. That's always the ultimate goal, but within racing, there's always the unknown. Stuff could happen, but we're going to put on a hard push today. Definitely my biggest competition today is Nick Whitmer. Simone, I think I can get him in the race for sure, 100%. It's just how quickly I can get ahead of him and hopefully tag along with Greg and Nick, see what they're doing and try and maybe pick a point where I can pass one of them. I mean, if we can get ahead of Simone before corner 1 and get ahead of Greg and maybe tag on to Nick and get both the minis up there and have me and Andre work against Nick together, obviously that would be an amazing thing. We can never predict what's going to happen. Once the green flag drops, it's kind of chaos and just however the cards fall, but that's definitely what the plan or the goal is heading into the race.
He's in fourth position right now and he's trying to catch up to the Hondas that are slightly faster than they are right now. Hopefully he can increase the pace a little bit to try to catch up. TJ just reeled in his fastest time at a 47.5 and they just went a couple corners side by side in third position, so I don't know, we'll find out if he passed him or not in the next few seconds.
Going back and forth, PJ and Simone from Lombardi Honda were caught up in an epic battle for third place. With tempers flaring, PJ found himself up against the wall.
What the
Yeah, he's back out there. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he ended up on the wall on the back straight, so obviously there was some contact somewhere, so we'll try to get more information. Looks like he's okay, which is great. Unfortunately, the car looks pretty damaged, so.
The second race was very interesting. It was actually fun up until the point. Had a really good battle going on with Simone. Got underneath him a couple times in corner 3. Made the pass up into third place. Fortunately, we're down a little bit on power, so he could pass me back up in the back straight. And then after the second time I passed him and gained third place, we got together on the back straight and ended up with me turning into the wall and kind of ending my race at that point in time. Yeah, when you get turned around like that, first thought is to kind of counter steer to see if you can save it, but then there's always a point where you know you can't save it anymore. At that point, you want to kind of try and minimize the damage. Obviously, you want to take your hands off steering wheel when you know you're going to hit so that it doesn't yank the wheel out of your hands. You can break your thumbs sometimes. And you just kind of want to relax to let your body absorb the shock of hitting a steel barrier at 140 kilometers an hour. It's obviously not fun and it does go through you, so. But it's okay. I'm okay. Walk away always, like always, upside down, right side up, doesn't matter. It's all part of racing at the end of the day. And we'll wait and see what the officials have to say about it. That's what I'm waiting for at this point in time.
After any incident that requires a good review, just something like this, we've got the series officials that came and took the footage outside of the car, which every car is now mandatory to have. They go and they review it firsthand. They don't let anybody else see it first. Get their own kind of viewpoint on what's happening. They may or may not interview the drivers and issue penalties based on the level of severity. Something along the lines of this, maybe a severe penalty, may not be, depends on how they view it. If we don't believe that the results are good enough, we may have to put protests in, but we're tight for time on that, so we're waiting for the series to come back with something on what's going to happen.
It was upwards and onwards to third for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. You were right there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Too bad, but yeah,
Let's see what the video says.
Yep.
It's in their hands now.
Yep.
Still
We got
sucks.
good footage there.
This is not what I wanted to do to you.
TJ, if it's not the first or second or fourth, it's gonna happen at some point. That's what horse racing is about, and
I know.
you know, I don't feel sentimental about it anymore.
No, it's just a
I'm
car.
going past that.
We'll fix it.
It's metal and parts on. It can be fixed as long as you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Unfortunately, Sean's got his work cut out for him. He's got to get the car back together. Obviously not what I wanted to do to him after the first race weekend, but that's what he's there for, and he's the best at what he does, getting the cars back together. He's also got 3 weeks to work on the car to find the extra speed that we need to put the Hondas at the other end of the field, get the Minis up front where we should be, and that's obviously what we expect for the next race at Montreal, and we'll see you then.
Ultimately, the officials felt PJ was at fault, disqualifying him from race 2 and seriously hindering his chances to win the championship. With a perfect start to the season, Nick Whitmer took P1, followed by Lombardi teammates Greg Pootman and Simone Dion-Bien. With 14 races to go, these drivers will be pushed to their limits, battling for points while fighting each other to earn P1.